season?
The answer is yes, in a season of inexplicably stupid plays. And Stephen A., I will leave the Falcons to you because that was something. But let me tell you why I think it was this. Because when you're a coach, you have the advantage of knowing the game situation, of preparation and planning in a different way than the players, where the play is unfolding in front of them. And the one thing you have to do, and Greg Williams has autonomy with the defense, right? The one thing you have to do in that situation, the only thing you have to do is not give up a touchdown. That's it. Let him complete a pass. It doesn't matter. Game's over. Just don't give up a touchdown. The only thing you have to do. So you bring 7? You leave guys in man coverage and behind the defense. And by the way, Mike Greenberg pointed this out this morning, Stephen A. on Get Up. It was the second consecutive play that they let someone get behind the defense. Like it's inexplicable. And by the way, you do start to think like Greg Williams is a competitive guy, but it's the kind of play when fans get suspicious about motives for teams. Like, do they want the first pick? Does someone have money on the game? Like that kind of stuff that fans talk about, which I don't believe is the case here. But it's that inexplicable. Like, you need some reason. Greg Williams, I don't care, as it's been pointed out all day on ESPN and last night, that he has done this before. The one thing you don't do, and the only thing you don't do, is give up a touchdown. And so that's the play you call. It doesn't make sense. Stephen A., it is actually the dumbest play of the year.
Max Kellerman, let me parse words here. It may have been the dumbest call, but it wasn't the dumbest play. The dumbest play was by the Atlanta Falcons on September 20th at Jerry World. That was the dumbest play. This onside kick by Zuerlein, it's not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, 6 different Atlanta Falcons. 6 different Atlanta Falcons are standing around the ball for an onside kick and literally waiting for that, treating it like it was I don't even know what to say. It's treating it like it was a punt. Okay, and they were like waiting for the ball to hit. And I understand they had to get to the 45-yard line. I get all of that. But you got 6 different Atlanta Falcons that could have pounced on the ball, and they treated it like it was a punt instead of an onside kick and blew the game and lost 40-39. I don't know anything dumber than that. As far as I'm concerned, it's one of the dumbest plays in history, okay? Now, in the case of Greg Williams, you got your defense in the wrong situation. All-out blitz, 0 blitz. What the hell are you doing? Greg Williams is not something that he hasn't done before. He's done it many times. That's just his way, his ego, and that got in the way, and his team suffered because of it, because he clearly didn't put them in the best position to win. Only having 3 dudes in the secondary, for crying out loud, and rushing 8. Just dumb. We get all of that. We understand that on the part of Greg Williams. But when that still doesn't eclipse 6 different dudes, and your only assignment is to pounce on the football. That's it. You ain't got to cover nobody. All right? You don't have to sit up there and worry about coverage. You don't have to. All you have to do is pounce on the ball. And 6 different Atlanta
Falcons. You know what the difference is?
Was right there, and none of them did it. All 6 of them didn't know what the hell to do. Now, I don't know if that can eclipse the stupidity of Greg Williams.
Well, I appreciate the distinction between the dumbest play and the dumbest call or something.
The dumbest call.
What's amazing about the play with the Falcons is it was contagious. Like, I understand one dude just having a brain freeze, but 5 dudes? It doesn't make sense. Here's the difference, Stephen A. Let's convict them in a court of popular opinion, right? Of public opinion. One, they both killed the game, but one was manslaughter. That was not premeditated what the Falcons did. That was spur of the moment. They messed up. Greg Williams, that was murder. He murdered that game for the Jets.
Terrible call.
That was premeditated. Stephen A., it's 3rd and 10. It's 3rd and 10 with the game on the line, and you just don't let the defense, let anyone get behind the defense. and they go 0. They have no safety, no nothing. They're in man coverage with the fastest dude on the field. I don't.
Arthur Mack, you missed something.
Logic?
You missed
What's
something.
the logic?
You missed something. Not only were they in man coverage against the fastest dude on the field, the name of the cornerback was Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
I mean, damn. You know that. I mean, when we've got a Lamar Jackson that is, I'm talking about an elite athlete and a speedster at the quarterback position for the Baltimore Ravens, and this cornerback happens to have the same name. I mean, that's just pretty bad, and I get it. But again, it's entirely
better
different.
off putting Lamar Jackson on.
It's entirely different than 6 dudes
right, we gotta roll.
not knowing the pounce on the football.
Yeah.
That's just dumb.
There's a first time for everything, and there's a reason why this is the first time that's happened. So 2020. We got to keep it moving because we got a full live second hour coming up on First Take. A lot to get into, guys. Dan Orlovsky. Dan, hope you had a nice weekend. Top of the morning to you, but you know who I am starting with right now. That would be the one and only Stephen A. Smith, and your facial expressions are priceless, Stephen A. Tell me this. Do you feel like you owe Baker an apology? Maybe his wife, too?
The answer would be hell no. Let me start by saying this. Baker Mayfield, really, the wife? Really? That's where we going? As a man that was raised by 5 women, I know better. And plus, I'm incredibly respectful. So I would like to say that when it comes to Miss Emily Mayfield, I would love to say that I loved her tweet because I love to see a woman who loves her man so dearly she wants to stand by him and support him, and major props to her. Not that she needs any props from me, but you know what? That's why she's Mrs. Mayfield, because she's something special to stand by her man like that. Congratulations, and congratulations to him for having a wonderful woman like her. Having said all of that, I will say this: far be it for me to take the position that I took. This is a person that did not have an impressive record against winning teams with winning records, if you recall, Mrs. Mayfield. So I would say that as number one. Number two, over the previous 4 weeks, he was completing 57% of his passes. I think it was like 2 touchdowns and, 1 or 2 turnovers. He was relatively pedestrian. When you look at the multitude of weapons that he has available to him, a stout running game in Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, Jarvis Landry and those boys can ball, and obviously they look a little bit better without Odell Beckham Jr. because he doesn't get to focus on them. The defense, they really get after the quarterback, courtesy of Myles Garrett. Their secondary isn't too shabby. And Kevin Stefanski is pretty much known for operating around Baker Mayfield and basically saying, to use Baker Mayfield's words, don't do anything stupid. Don't give the game away. Don't blow it up. If that's your definition of success, I can live with that. What I'm saying is what Bart Scott said. Considering the bevy of weapons that Baker Mayfield has available to him, if this dude is that dude, and he plays the way that he played yesterday, because he was sensational yesterday. He really was. It was very impressive. He plays that way. I agree with Rex Ryan. Cleveland Browns got a shot to win it all if Baker Mayfield looks that way. But none of us expect him to. None of us expect a repeat performance. None of us expect him to throw 4 touchdowns in the first half, being the first quarterback for the Browns since Otto Graham in 1951 to do so. Nobody's expecting that from Baker Mayfield. Nobody's expecting Baker Mayfield to throw for 330 plus yards and complete about 90% of his passes. Nobody's expecting that from Baker Mayfield. We see that. Then the Cleveland Browns are a different franchise. They're different anyway right now, because bottom line is they're about to get to the playoffs, and major props to them and Coach Stefanski for that. You've seen the upgrade. There's a difference. There's levels to this between him and Freddie Kitchens, and we understand that. But if you want to sit out there and say one game basically eradicates any argument that has been made against Baker Mayfield, you go right ahead. I'm not rooting against the brother. I wish him luck. I love his personality, those sound bites, the things that he has to say. If he backs it up with his performance on the field of play, Baker Mayfield is a headline grabber, because we know that brother can really talk and he can really sing. We get all of that. Plus the brother can dance too. Let's give him credit for that. But the point is, we don't really expect that from him, which is why I said what I said. I stand by it. And if he continues to do that, then I will commit my mea culpa. But 1 week doesn't get that done. My apologies.
Stephen A. Smith is no stranger to the influence